It begins! Incoming! Dyer's courier is dead!
Denied.
Radiant's top tower has been attacked! I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
I take what I please.
Death's bounty.
What have we here? You'll have to settle for burial at river. I don't think so. What's the opposite of regicide?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Double damage! Death tax.
They've made a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower.
Precious bounty.
I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege. Radiant's courier is being killed.
Undying, can you do something about the flood? I could look at you all day.
Death's bounty.
Extinguished.
Execute, Marie!
At the very least, Dire's structures will be temporarily harder to destroy. This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower. Dire's bottom tower is under siege. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Boss Pashak,
Nothing to burn.
Boss Pashak,
Dire's bottom tower is under
ganda
siege.
niyan. Boss Pashak,
Dire's bottom tower is simply no more. It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
Illusion! Amazing what you found, Lime.
Dire's bottom tower is under siege. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Boss Pashak,
Radiant's top tower has been attacked.
See what we them.
Dire's bottom tower is under siege. Dire's top tower is under attack. This won't be
come in
pretty.
handy.
They've reached Dire's top tower.
Death's bounty.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Boss ko siya.
You want it?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Boss ko siya. Boss ko
Dire's
siya.
middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is full.
Death tax.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. The good news is that Radiant structures will be much harder to beeline for Radiant's bottom tower. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is falling.
Got it.
I can confirm. The Radiant core are shot down. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under siege. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is fallen. Looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower. Radiant's top tower has been attacked. Radiant has made it much harder to take down their structures. They're fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire has made it much harder to bring down their structures. Dire's bottom tower is under siege. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's courier has been killed. I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
Bounty.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Around.
Melron will need to find a new favorite.
Radiant's top tower has been attacked. It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower. This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower.
It's not the heat, it's the humiliation.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower. I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
They've made a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower.
Bounty!
This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower. I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege. And Dire's top tower falls right in front of us. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Money to burn.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Unstoppable.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's decision to fortify their structures was too wise, I should think. It's just in. Radiant slays Roshan.
I am
Details
immortal.
unnecessary.
Invisibility!
Dire's middle tower is under attack. It will be harder to take down Dire's structures now that they are fortified. This won't be busy. They've reached Dire's top tower. They've made a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower. Dire's top barracks is forward. Dire's structures are fortified. It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No, take that.
Got it.
They've made a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. No more couriering for Radiant's courier. He's rather dead. Dire's top barracks are under attack.
My skill set is narrow. Shot.
Dire has lost their top barracks to their enemy.
I slept
What's the shot?
Dire are scanning.
Got it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Lại ra, hãy tạo
给你经验不中用。
Leave Lana get killed. Go ahead, so you get
Blessings.
Haste! Fun begin! And where's the party?
Is mine. Go to the Radiant.
A prize.
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
Money to burn.
Lấy táo của
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Đố là sao vậy?
Dire's structures are fortified. This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower. Dire's top tower is fallen.
Here I am.
Double damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under siege. Dire's bottom tower is simply no more.
Silence. Look out.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has been attacked. Dire's bottom tower is under siege.
The mysteries renew me.
Penetrate Radiant's middle tower is under siege. It will be harder to remove Radiant structures now that they are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Now they're attacking Radiant's middle tower.
I'm staging a comeback.
barracks has fallen. Radiant's top tower has been attacked. Radiant no longer has a middle barracks. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. It seems apparent that Radiant has chosen to strengthen their structure. They've made a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. That's it then. Radiant has lost their bottom barracks.
Where's the party?
Use mana, get killed. Oh, that's so easy actually.
Thanks to the Dire. Radiant had better be on high alert. The enemy is attacking the bottom barracks. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege. It will be harder to remove Radiant structures now that they are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is no more. Radiant's ancient is under attack. They're attacking Radiant's ancient. I can't bear to watch.
Burn, baby, burn.
Gold for my forge.
A midsummer nightmare.
Blown away!
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower. It's beyond comprehension. Dire's middle tower is gone. Just gone.
Stupendous!
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Might burn.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
Oh, what'd I miss?
Blessings.
Bounty!
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is being attacked. Radiant's top tower is under attack. They're attacking Radiant Ancient. Comprehensive watch.
Oh!
Gold from my forge.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Behold!
Did anyone get to me with that wagon that hit me?
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's ancient.
You fought with determination.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Come back, oi! Ah, my back hurts.
Radiant team ban.
So good and tasty.
Dire team ban.
He disconnected.
Patience while the Radiance team chooses.
Ah, my back hurts.
Dire team pick.
Lina.
Time now for the Dire team to choose. Patience. Radiant team ban.
Silencer.
Be surprised if the Enigma opts for like a 4th or 5th item refresh here in this game as well.
10 seconds remaining.
So you've got some good answers. Not the oddest thing, maybe a little bit off the beaten path in comparison, but it's still a unit rep for Geekslate. You've still got the Enigma out for Entity, so nothing too strange yet.
Lima Major.
Oh yeah, Zohan. Yes, I love that film. I love that film. Very unquotable on the stream, but very good film. Very good film. You mean Adam Sandler? You good? You good?
Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yep. Yeah, you just need to take him out. So maybe some backline jump coming out for Entity here would work out on the mid. Stormer hasn't really played a Storm Spirit. Ember is on hand, but picking Spirit Brothers into Silencer is also always kind of awkward as well. So maybe you want that activity from a support position, but you've already locked into the Rubik for Kataomi. Your Clockwork was banned out for Fishman. So options are kind of limited in trying to reach in for the Silencer. For the side of Geekslate though, when you're seeing the Tusk ban, you've still got something like the Marcy lined up, as they ban out the Naga and Entity's End as well. So Marcy's actually available for both sides. Again, both sides have played that in Pause 1. Although for Geekslate, it's pretty hard to switch that Lino away, so it's more than likely Entity could look for it. We have seen some teams pick Marcy up against Lina, just because theoretically you can gap close, you can try to control with a Basher up, and those are decent solutions for Lina, but the issue is that timing. Right, we've seen Marcy cores just take forever to farm up, and they tried to build Battle Fury as well, which in a lane that doesn't go your way, the timing is super slow. So not the biggest fan of that. It's just so lane dependent. You have to crush your lane and really shut down the Lina to have that strong start, even if you manage to get that Marcy here.
Dire team back.
Mhm.
10 seconds remaining.
แจ้งให้ทราบถึงไม่อยากจะทราบก็ตาม
5 seconds remaining.
Pretty on brand. I mean, you have to take care of so many more. Like the threats from offlane are just scarier. I think the Entity ban on NP really just enabled the Lina pick, because that's probably the one here that really draws against Alina pretty well. The NP answer on one is what we tend to see. So it just gave this confidence out to Geekslate to pick it up. do see the Pangolier band, and Entity can pick up now.
Radiant's team.
And they could just establish like an off lane. They will go with a Tiny first, so you've got some flex. Fishman and Katawumi have both played these heroes, I believe, on their respective support positions. You could try to run it mid, but without knowing the matchup. I don't rate Tiny mid too highly, but Stormstormer has played it. To know win rate, win success at least, so he has done it. Not too keen about the matchup, but again, Katawami and Fishman have both played these, so the flex is nice. Ooh, straight into the Batrider and Earth Spirit for Geek Slate. So they've got to jump in themselves. They've got the aggression. We have seen Earth Spirit make a rise up, at least in China. We've seen a lot of teams run it, mainly on mid, but sometimes on the 4.
Radiant team.
Raji and Narman does play a mean Earth Spirit, to be fair. So you can run down early on. You can run into the Batrider lane really well, set up for your Batrider to just overtake, set up for Cox, who does enjoy his Batrider quite well, and just go from there. I love this answer from Entity though. Like, into the Slark, you've got a way to just dispel off. You've got your Shard pickup as well to cut off the Lina and just hide your team, so you cut off some damage timings there for Geek Slate once that's up, and you can jump onto the Lina. Mind you, BKB timing still works out for Lina here, but if you can get on top of her early on before that BKB timing, be aggressive, win out your lane, and just make these rotations happen, the Slark can be effective against that hero.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Oh.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, welcome home. Yeah. Force has played it a couple of times as well. He has played that as well on Simon Polaris. Not the best, yeah. To be fair, I think that's not as bad of a lane as people pointed out to be. I think Batrider still has a lot of play. Force out Dark Pact on a Slark who's not being aggressive on you, like forcing him to use it defensively in lane. It's pretty painful for the Slark. It's not sustainable. You can still dish out damage, so with the right lane partner, that can still be overwhelming. So I don't think it's too bad for Geek Slate. It will still be a challenge for the Lassos down the line. But if you play your cards right, especially with an Earth Spirit to set up, like that can be aggressive onto Slark. So they could shift it onto Force, and they're showing a lot of respect for Cox, and the side of Geek Slate are just taking care of, again, mid matchups here for the most part. Invoker, DP, if you are looking for the bat mid, DP can punish you pretty well when you do commit. You can just kind of heal back. So it's, again, a bit of an answer. I'm wondering if Entity still expects this flex. Like, they take care of Flesh, but Force heroes are still online. If, again, you run the Cox Batrider, you could get surprisingly off lane. What? What, Cox? Well, that's his name though, Mike. He's not Avatar mode anymore, he's Cox. So, it is what it is. That was his original pub name too. And show some respect. Get your head out of the gutter. Yes. Yep. It's a lot of Cox and Tours. Yeah, I want to see a giant ring Cox as well. Just running around him. Scaled up. Force, a couple of options for him. Depending on the matchup though, like up against a Slark, you wouldn't be too bad with something like, if you wanted to go for tempo, Beastmaster's there, Viper's still there. If you wanted to as well, just dominate the lane. Like Force does excel at lane domination, so I wouldn't mind any of that in the last pick. Anything basically works really well with the Earth Spirit. As long as you can get aggressive in the first 2 tree levels, and your Earth Spirit will be able to enable you. They ban up the Drow, maybe expecting Batrider off Lina mid. I don't think that's what Geek Slate's looking to do though. Again, Schem should pretty much just play the Lina. It's not a bad lane against an Enigma. So I'm wondering
10
why.
seconds remaining.
If you did pick Drow with Alina mid,
5 seconds
you
remaining.
do have really early aggression. Like, you can run down. You have a pretty good aura to give to Alina. They go to Primal Beast, so that could still be Force, that could still be Cox. They can kind of hold their cards up close to their chest depending on the mid matchup here for Cox. And Entity will have to try to find a solution, because the Primal Beast is really nice in terms of jumping these heroes. It's strange because it feels like that's the kind of hero you pick against Alina or an NP, right? Just someone who can charge in and be on top. They maybe just preemptively take it for themselves, knowing that it's such a strong laning combination. Like, Earth Spirit plus Primal Beast, we've seen that before, where you turn on Trample, you kick your Primal Beast forward, and do a ridiculous amount of damage in position. So, that lane, if that is Force's hero, that's already pretty nice.
Imba spirit.
Which hero will you choose? The anticipation is killing me.
I might lean towards Geek Slate just a bit. I think they've got the Lina. You don't have the clearest answers from Entity. Core to core matchup for Slark can work, but it's not the simplest core to core matchup for you to really punish the Lina. You've got this really big team fight, but the answer's already there with Raji's Silencer. And I don't know, like, you pick Ember into this Earth Spirit knowing that the rotations can come in mid. Stormstormer's gonna have to really play on the edge. Like, if Narman gets a good roll on top and ties in with a Batrider, it's the same thing. Batrider just enables... Earth Spirit just enables a Batrider to win lane so easily.
Focus, guys.
4-minute rotations, probably likely 6-minute rotations there as well. And I think the lanes are just looking pretty damn good out from Geek Slate. For Entity, there's a ramp up here. Like, right, you're looking at Kataomi's blink timing, if you can get that up on the Tiny. You're looking at Stormer for, like, a fast Phase Boots Maelstrom, perhaps, or at least Phase Boots or Corrosion, depending on the player. Some people lean either way. And just kind of make space for Watson to get that build up into Echo Saber, Ags, usually. Echo Saber, Ags, BKB. And that's when the Slark can match up against the Lina, but the Lina does feel like it can outfarm the Slark by a fair margin.
Hopefully no issues going into this.
Maybe. Again, I'd be banking on a draw. But if you were, odd look... Man, Mikey, but...
We have a pulse. SEA Dota at its finest.
I don't know, these guys are just... Well, it is Entity who paused, to be fair. So it's not really a sea curse, but they're passing the curse on, of course. So, what can you do? Sometimes it just happens. You just have to pause.
You
It
just
is what
have
it
to
is.
pause. Sometimes that's just how it is.
It's the way of life, Mike.
It certainly is, John. And while we do have this pause, John, we have been talking for roughly 30 to 40 minutes now about absolutely nothing. I may as well continue while we have the pause going. Did you have merienda? I mean, I asked you earlier, but I didn't really hear your answer. Say it with some passion, John. What did you have for merienda?
I had some Korean rice rations, Mike. I had Korean
that's why
rice
I stopped
rations.
talking
Yeah,
about it.
because it's just instant rice. It's nice. It's not the best rice. Pretty good. Not too bad. It doesn't cause stomach fluctuations. I've tried American MREs. They don't taste too bad, but I have to say that protein drink it has in there, it's not particularly good. I do want to talk about something here. We talked about Raji playing with 3 Filipinos. I don't know what's wrong with Norman. I don't know what goes on in his head. I don't know why he does this to himself, but he went from playing with 4 Indonesians to 3 Filipinos. From Army Geniuses into Geek Slate. I just think this man is either the the most zen person in the world, which to be fair, Norman kind of is. Although I remember stories on AG. Remember that time where they had to sub in because Norman like crashed in a bike or something? Like he's just this character, man. And now he willingly goes into a team of 3 Filipinos. I mean, God bless your soul, Norman. You are something else. I don't know why you would do this, but thank you.
He might be something else here too, John. No jump in.
Whoa! Sick!
Let's take it easy. And Nam, the only one showing himself in the mid lane. Cox there as well on the Batrider. Entity grouped up in the mid as well, so it could be a huge team fight to break out if they want it, but not before we have another pause. Sound issues here for Toby. XD from Roger, or rather Rodgy. I appreciate a good XD. Is it strange, John, that I'm TeamSpeak moment 2023? You know, we were complaining about this 5 years ago when we first started casting, right? Because this was about the NA teams. I always said, how are NA teams still using TeamSpeak? And this was 5 years ago.
Don't give up.
And they're still, these teams are still using TeamSpeak.
30 seconds.
And to be fair, we use TeamSpeak as well for certain applications, right? We haven't had that many issues, thankfully. And it's just one of those things, you have a bad server host and, oh, you just have a bad time. It is what it is, Mikey. There have been some internet fluctuations, at least what I've noticed. Like, some servers have been going up and down. I couldn't play my Battlefield 5 for a couple of days. Very annoyed, but
Oh no.
you get by, Mikey. You get by.
Entity, run into Cox, Narman and Force. And Kataomi feeling pretty confident that they can't actually lock him down. And it seems like Geek Slate, they won't even try. They'll focus more on just spamming voice lines for now, as they will get 3 bounties for the price of 1. Watson able to pick up 1 for his team, but that's about all they're going to get. And we'll start off with the mid lane while we're here. Of course, Cox is going to be on that Batrider against Stormstormer on the mid-Ember. Who do you think this matchup favors? Do you think Stormstormer can make this one work, or should Cox have his way with it?
Well, we've seen Embers win this matchup. It's all just a matter of outplay. It's certainly a lot easier for the Batrider to just get an advantage here. Melee hero, you spam the napalm up, you get some good right click, you melt through the early flame guard. I'm surprised Stormstormer even went for flame guard. I think the lane winners we see when they outplay here is like sleight of fist chains. You just harass the Batrider, you can't really sustain, and you just get that opening before like level 4, level 5. Still, Stormstormer should be able to find his CS no problem. It does take some time for the Batrider to ramp up, and as long as you keep your spacing right, you're not under major threat. What you will watch out for is the support rotation. So both are tiny for Kataomi, and Narman's Earth Spirit can make a lot of action happen on mid. So 4 minutes, if your side lanes can get out, they should, and look for that opportunity on the mid lane.
Absolutely. We'll have a look at the side lanes as well. I mean, top lane, you've got Fishman there to support Watson on that Slark. Force going to be against them, along with Narman on the Earth Spirit. So this top lane, like, Watson really could start to pop off on that Slark, considering the matchup he has. The 2 melee heroes against the Slark, generally, you know, every Slark stream, but against this Primal Beast, it gets a little bit scary. This guy just kind of onslaughts in, pops a trample, and then you've got the backup of Narman on this Earth Spirit, who can just kind of follow up stun with a roll. Speaking of the devil, though, he does get pounced up, but we'll go for the kick away on the Slark, as Fishman now will get chased down by Force, but is going to be okay to just outrun the Primal Beast. This Fishman did actually go for brown boots at that level 1 mark, so pretty smart on his part. Being here, John, at this top lane, it can kind of go either way. It just seems to be one of those kind of outplay lanes.
Outplay lanes, you just really out-position lanes. It does feel like it's all a matter of if you can get in this angle to get this pounce and catch this certain hero, you can find that angle. Same thing for Geek Slate. If you can get the kickback, get the roll on top, line up your trample and onslaught, you can certainly just melt these heroes. So it's going to be a little bit more back and forth. This bot lane, though, Scam already in danger.
Oh boy, Scam's already gone on that pos 1 Lena. Toby and Kataomi able to set up, and the Tiny will secure first blood, so happy days for Kataomi. First kill to go the way of Entity, and of all heroes you could pick off, the Lena probably your most favorite. I mean, this pos 1 Lena, it does tend to take off pretty darn quick, but if you get killed a few more times, it can be a bit of a slower process.
That's the one thing when you are running the Enigma, because you're shoving in the lanes, you can just control equilibrium so well. Raji's forced to like go for these pulls while it's not in the ideal position. Scam's just exposed. You've got the setup that can come out from Kataomi. You've got the value point, the Malefice. It doesn't take too much to melt Melina in lane. She just doesn't have that much armor, even with all the Iron Branches here.
Flo is there, top lane. They'll make the jump in onto the Rubik, and Fishman is going to drop. Easy pick off here for Geek Slater's Nam, and had the vision to connect the roll, and Force obviously just able to follow up quite simply.
Yeah, it's better to lose Fishman than it is to lose Watson, like, because they're focusing so much on killing off that Rubik, your Slug is pretty much uncontested in farm. So you're trading these kills away for a huge laning advantage. You're 19-7 in comparison there.
Yeah, Cox though, mid lane, he finds Stormstormer. That's the thing against the Batrider, like, even if you're playing the Ember, if you mess up your spells just a little bit, the Batrider is just going to run you down, and Cox, he does exactly that.
It looks like they're going after
I'm just so curious about Stormstormer's build-up, like Flame Guard, Slide Fist, like the standard build-up. Again, I'm trying to remember, and I do feel like the winning Embers we've seen is usually like a Slide Fist Chains, or at least a 1-3-1 build-up by 5, where you can dish out a lot of damage, you can punish Cox when he does try to jump in, chain him under tower, chain him under creep wave, cut some of that time out from his Firefly, get some distance out. We didn't even see a rotation need to come in. Cox just has control, and the matchup is just that much easier with him with a level advantage.
And he was trying to go again. EP was coming in, but now cancels to Cox. He might just move back in. Doesn't have the napalm stacks to really threaten the life of Stormstormer. Just leave him be for now. Meanwhile, top lane, Fishman gonna get caught out again with the Rubik. So Force able to pick up his second kill, and I do love those Polaris voice lines, man. They're just so damn good. So annoying if that's getting spammed at you when you're getting killed every 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's from True Pluck, local Visayan caster from Cebu. Very, very good voice lines. Very funny guy too. He's the kind of dude that would literally freeze when there's a pause, go silent when there's a global sounds. He's that dude on Reddit.
Guy.
So. Yeah, that's him. That's True Pluck. Yeah, that's him doing the voice lines every day. So shout out to him.
He's the guy that took his clothes off as well, right? Like every time something happened, he'd take another shirt off or something.
I think he did do that. Yeah, he's so entertaining.
That was hilarious.
He's such a funny guy. Anyway, this is not funny up top here, Watson.
Getting chased down again, but in the meantime, they've even got the Lena. So Watson may drop, but still trying to run. Mid lane, Stormstormer's going to go down. Watson still fighting, actually finds Narman. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the Tiny, the Lena, everyone's dying. Everybody gets a kill. Force is still chasing down Watson. He plants.
He's getting blocked.
He's getting blocked by his own creeps. Oh, the creeps. Watson's okay.
Oh.
Watson's fine. Force has no mana to make the dive in. Just kills all across the map, Jonathan. I don't even know what to analyze there.
I mean, you're finding some good wins on either lane here for both sides. The big difference maker is that mid for Cox. Like this Batrider on this overwhelming start into the travels timing he's going to be seeing here. The activity you can expect from him is just on the next level. For Geek Slate though, their bot lane is just not in good position. There's only so much Raj you can do in this lane. Every time you step out of position, the Tiny can just have a toss, and it's easy setup for Toby to run you down. So that is one hurting point for Geeks. Yes, Skem is still up there in CS, he's still up there in net worth, but you really don't want to be feeding this onto Toby. His timing onto durability is just going to be that much quicker.
That voice line, man. So good. If only we were talented, John. We might make a popular voice line one day.
Oh, no.
Probably.
I had some pretty good ones. They just weren't chosen, man. I had some good ones. It is what it is.
It is. Probably the last chance we'll ever have anyway.
True enough, Mikey.
6-5. Oh, 6-5 Geek
Watson.
Slate's way. Top lane, Watson in trouble again. Trampled up here by Force. Onslaught did connect, but the Shadow Dance was there just in the nick of time.
Money to burn.
Watson able to get out of there. Fishman was just trying to make sure he gets out alive, and that's the second time where the Slark should have just been dead, but gets away with the slither of HP, and it's going to be a little bit frustrating for Force getting so close yet so far. Still, he is having a great old time in the top lane, but Watson is still getting the levels and farm he needs.
He's getting the levels and farms he needs, and Force isn't doing that hot in terms of net worth. He's behind Toby right now. He's the bottom net worth core. Not lagging behind too much, but certainly will stall out some of his timing. So, Stormstormer.
Stormstormer gonna rush in. Cox will be alright. Narman can't say the same for him though. He will get blocked with his roll, but it doesn't seem like they're 100% confident continuing for this. Kataomi will show up. Narman finally goes down. Roger, can he find a trade? Kataomi, oh, it's a double light strike array. Stormstormer forced to run it out, but they're gonna lose Fishman. It'll be a 2-for-1 trade
Denied.
in the favor of Geek Slate as they do find the double kill on the supports. And with that entity,
Dire's top tower is
yeah,
under
you
attack.
found the Earth Spirit, but it just cost you so much.
It's a lot of sacrifices. Still only 2 supports to trade away, but the fact that Scam's there to soak up some of that EXP, switching out from the jungle farm, giving a nice boost to the Lina, start to claw his way towards the top as he has started to drag behind in that word. And those kills have led to Cox having this travel sub 10 minutes. He's ready to run around. He still has the lasso ready as well if they see the opportunity to play with it.
Yeah. Bottom lane. Cox is around, just waiting very, very patiently. Kataomi is there to help out if they do make the jump in on Toby, though. Narman might be the bait here. Toby gonna move in along with Kataomi, but Cox, he'll start moving in now as well as the Batrider. He'll go for the lasso, and they should have damage to get it done. The silence will not allow the turnaround black hole play. That's a big one. Cox, great rotation. Though can he get out without getting caught out? It seems like he can. Instead they'll try to chase down Narman to the tree line, and it doesn't seem like they realize Narman is still on the tree line just sitting there. He will successfully hide his way to survival,
Radiant's bottom tower
and they just won't realize he's fine.
Yeah. Just hugs the tree line in the right spot, doesn't get hit by the sleight of fist. They drag so much attention down bot. You're opening up more avenues for Skimp to just farm that triangle and have force build into that BKB. And you're finding some good movement out from Geeksy. Entity, again, they're not lagging too far behind in build up here. You are still getting good pacing out from Watson. His Echo Saber's almost done. This assembly play into BKB or Ags can line up from there as well. But Narman's still hanging around this area. I mean, Toby shows back in. Fishman and Kataomi are there to back up. They don't have the lasso, so he does back off in the end. But they can line up for top now, with all that commitment bot.
bottom tower is under attack.
Still around. Cox wants to try and make a jump in, but the lasso, chances are you aren't going to get him.
Chosen to strengthen their
They'll
structure.
just go after the top tier 1 instead, and there'll be no defense to come out. At the very least, though, Entity has found the bottom tier 1 tower, so they do trade evenly in terms of those objectives.
This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's
Geek
top
Slate,
tower, and
they'll be
Dire's
okay with the
top
trade.
tower falls right in front of
They
us.
just want to fight. Classic SEA Dota. They just want to try and move in and get some fights going. Cox will TP out at maybe the wrong moment, because mid lane they are going to see Stormstormer. But without the Batrider, they won't have the damage output. Instead, Fishman and Kataomi may get spotted out in a moment as well. They do have the Ember to back them up though, but they'll make the jump in. Kataomi, he'll be targeted on that Tiny, and he will just drop as Cox now will go after Fishman on the Rubik perhaps. Lasso committed. There should be no saving Fishman. You just perma-stun him up. Stormstormer trying to help from a distance, but realizes he can't really do too much. We'll just let him go down.
Yeah, not the biggest kills for Geeks, like they're only finding support pickups. But they are feeding a good amount of net worth onto Cox, allowing him to just get bigger and bigger and start to hit those times you want to see on the Batrider blink. Only 1,000 gold away. For Entity, this is just one of those things. You pick the Enigma, he's not going to be able to play around Black Hole for quite some time as long as that Silencer's around with the threat of Global Silence. You just play that bot lane, you keep shoving out and keep farming up, playing this Aura build-up instead. But Toby's not ready to contribute with the auras yet. The output of Geekslate is high enough that even if he was to show up, it would just lead to his downfall. So they have to play this more passive game on Entity, waiting for Watson to hit that moment where your Slark can come in, use these prolonged fights to his advantage. Maybe a little bit more time, like 5 more minutes on that. He is rushing the Blade of Alacrity, probably looking for the Ags build up from that point. Once you do have the double counts in, the game does simplify. And finding these big targets in Scam and Cox becomes a lot easier. And you can just go for that core versus core matchup that does feel like Watson can dance around.
Still a 1k advantage to Wave Entity. And Watson being the saving grace right now for their end of things. Not being able to kill the Slark. So again, they've been just so close. rotations down towards the bottom lane now. Narman and Rogi just sticking as a team. Support duo. Making sure Skem does remain safe on that POS 1 laner. Seems like both teams they may just take the time now to just relax. As well, I suppose I say relax, but they've got plenty of time to just spam voice lines again. That's what it's all about.
You know, Force, he was just pulverizing a creep in the camp right in front of Watson. He's just trying to prove a point. It's such a low cooldown. He's not going to go for these kill plays anyway. He just wants his BKB. So you can't fault the guy. So right in front of Watson, they've just fought over a camp. That's pretty funny to watch. What's not funny is the smoke out though. Narman and Rogi again moving as a unit. They've got Cox in that lane. Just one good roll in from Narman in setup here.
It's really hard to get away from this support duo because you haven't got any kind of defensive items yet. Like, Toby has a mech, but that's not going to remove all the silences that can come out.
Oh,
Cox will show himself to this bot lane. There is going to be a counter smoke trying to hunt down the Bat Rider, so Cox needs to be very, very careful. He does have his support duo nearby, and they do have the global silence, but they may need to pop it very, very soon. Rogi so far is waiting. Silence is there by Narman. He'll try to tank the gank on the Earth Spirit and buy the time for Cox to TP out. And that he will. So you lose your Earth Spirit, but he does allow the Bat Rider to get out of there. And I'd call that probably a win for Geekslate, considering how many heroes had to rotate for that.
Yeah, it was a lot of heroes coming out. You drag the attention of Stormstormer as well. And you are getting space out for Watson. I think the movement from Geekslate's just not quite in the right part of the map. Stark is able to farm Stormstormer though.
Immediately just deleted here by a Skem. And now they've got another Fishman. I mean, he pops the Laguna on Rogi, but he does go down anyway. Rogi will survive. Geekslate, at least in terms of kills, they're having a very good time. Farm-wise, it's still a very good time. My only concern for them being Watson's still having an extremely good time. Speaking of Watson, currently he's chasing down Force. Force will go for the trample play, try his best to survive through this and fight back, but there's no way to do so once Kataomi gets involved. Onslaught is there, but it's just too short. He doesn't channel the full duration, and with that, he will just go down.
He gives himself a head bonk as well. Another stack of Agi for Watson, and that is his Ags pretty much almost done. He's got the gold to buy it out. I'm surprised he didn't buy the orb yet. Turning bot.
Give it a shot. Black Hole was there, but doesn't do too much against Cox. Toby now just trapped in the tree line, has absolutely zero places to go. Will just go down. In fact, now Narman, he can really hunt them down because they all just show up. Just get the magnetize going. He needs the backup. There is going to be the Ember rotating back in, but Skem showing up. Has he shown up the wrong time, though? It does seem like he has. Still Narman. He found Fishman, but that's all they're going to be able to find as he is set to fall. They'll just pounce him up and take him out. Big kills here for the side of Entity.
Now, they reveal that Axe in a very big way from Watson. Again, once you've got the double pounce up, the Lina is just so easy to get on top of. The Ag's still not quite there for Skem as well. It's still a ways off in that build-up. Maybe just waiting for one primary Ags here on the side of Geekslate before they really start to clump up. Force just lacking the recipe. We need to see some action out from this Primal Beast. Like, yes, he's been holding the lane. He had a grid time top for Force, but outside of that, he's not taking part in any of these fights. Whereas right now, even even Watson's more than ready to join in, build up, get those essence shift stacks up for himself. Cox, and he's got the blink ready.
All right on target. It's got Rogi. Skem trying to wait for the Dark Pack to help out. Lasso is going to be there. The Cox immediately jumping in, but Kataomi with a big avalanche is going to save the day. Still, they are going to jump in, and they've got Watson. Watson is down, but here comes Stormstormer to try and salvage the situation the best he possibly can. Out of remnants, though, he cannot continue chasing down Skem. Will be forced to back off. So a 1-for-1 trade, but certainly in the favor of Geekslate. They have found the Slark for the sake of the silencer. Entity are unable to pursue anyone else.
And again, Geekslate, they're taking all of these fights with their Lina up front and their Primal Beast nowhere to be seen. But they're still making it work without that body forward here.
Yeah, Force is just not joining the fights. Toby. Rogi will be tossed back into Toby, and they will secure the silence to kill once again. Geekslate trying to protect that mid-tier 1 tower. Still trying to buy the time for this BKB to come out on force. And now he does have it. It's on the courier. They will lose the mid-tier 1. But that BKB they've been waiting for such a long time is finally on its way. We'll see what they get done with this.
Yeah, needs to make something happen. They've been buying time for Force more than Scam. So the investment in the BKB must lead to some aggression out here, as Entity, they're smoked off. Black Hole still down for 30 seconds, but they take control of that top triangle, this Radiant triangle though.
Avalanche toss, Cox, he's a big target. He'll force staff away though, will survive for now as Narman. He gets the silence off, but doesn't opt to try and roll in. Not feeling confident with how low Skim got there for him, or rather how low Cox got for a moment. Still a very close game though, 16-12, 1k advantage the way of Entity. Anyone's game at the moment. Fight can give you such a massive swing in terms of net worth. And there's going to be a big smoke up from Geek Slate. They're going to try and make that big team fight happen. Maybe even just a big team pick-off to happen. Stormer, he's probably going to be the closest target to them.
Yeah, does have at least one remnant to back off here. So can get himself out to safety, but Blink Lasso is ready for Cox.
Stormer, smoke broken, remnant away. Stormer though, he's out of remnants. Global Silence is there just in the nick of time as well. Still Entity are going to try and move in and get something for their trouble. Kataomi looking for a tossback, found a creep. So Narman still running, gets kicked away by Fishman. But it won't matter. He does go down.
And they find some punishment, but it's an Earth Spirit for an Ember Spirit. You're a lot happier on the side of Geek Slate. You are building up these Essence Shift stacks. And Watson, though, he does have 5 permanent Agi. And the Slark is really your big issue now on Geek Slate. Yes, you're finding punishment on pretty much every other core, but Watson's been free farming like a beast. Farm parity with Skem, 5 free Agi on his way. BKB coming up next. Once that BKB's up, he's really got nothing to fear when it pounces in. Gotta be a bit cautious here on Geek Slate as to allowing that to happen. But maybe just confident enough to have the lasso answer from Cox.
Another group up from Geek Slate, but Entity, in the meantime, they are just freely farming up on Watson. Still about 200 gold ahead of Skem's Lena, so the POS 1 matchup, it's still proving to be extremely close between these two. Both sides might just kind of take a backseat now and just relax for a little bit. That farm going is now it's a 2k advantage the way of Entity. Keep in mind, Geek Slate are around the Roshan pit, where Entity are on the opposite side of the map. A little bit scary for them. The fact that Geek Slate have that access to the Roshan pit and they aren't really nearby. But while the outpost is still there in the dire jungle, they should be just fine. Oh, even the T1 mid tower is still standing. But I suppose you do have to be careful not to allow Geek Slate to just kind of sneak that one away from you if you're not too cautious.
Yeah. Don't want a free rush to go the way of Lena. 2 lives and Scam is just going to change the way these fights break out. And speaking of Scam, BKB is up for him, but Entity smoked up. They've got their spells ready. They know they've got to go for the Roshan play.
Jump in, they're going to try a big avalanche from Kataomi. They found Rodriguez as well, so both the Silencer and the Earth Spirit will caught, but they're both fine for now as Watson. Watson gets pulverized, but he has the Dark Pact. He's okay to pounce out. There's going to be a 5-man smoke now. Geek Slate still want to try and pursue the side of Entity. Stormer picks up a double damage rune for himself while he's within his own smoke. Let's break it now. They know he's around there somewhere, but instead they're going to make the jump in mid lane onto Kataomi. They even found Fishman on the Rubik, so a 2-for-1 special. Fishman still being controlled up, will get bursted down by a Scam, and there's Stormer getting caught. Global Silence is out through the BKB. He can't get out of there. Still waiting for it. He gets through just in the nick of time, but the Lino attack still going. Stormer trying to run, but Narman's on the chase, but no, it's not enough. Oh, he will barely survive. Oh, it was like the Matrix watching him trying to avoid those Lino attacks, John.
Oh, yeah. flying all over the place. Very awkward position. Pop the BKB and Global Times comes afterwards, but they just didn't have enough damage coming through. The DD, the damage he was dishing out with Sleight of Fist, more than enough for Stormstormer to get some gap spacing from the other heroes on Geek Slate. And that's the window he needs to just slip out. So they force out some pretty big usages there. Global Signs down for a good time. You've got Black Hole ready. You can take Roche yourself down, Entity. You know the counterfight threat from Geek Slate isn't there. It is a bit of a process, but will go their way eventually.
Certainly will. Geek Slate, they can try to fight this one out, but they've got to get there rather quick. Narman is on the way on the Earth Spirit, and he can always try for a Roshan still. Not that easy, though, especially into 5 heroes. We'll get a bit of vision. Fox will move in with the Firefly. Kataomi out with the Avalanche. Roshan now getting very, very low. His force is going to make the jump in. The rolling is there from Narman. Watson, he'll jump out of the Roshan. He'll go right after the kills instead. Onto the Silencer. Rogi is down. Skem's in trouble. He'll try to BKB and run. Meanwhile, Kataomi about to fall the tiny, but Force will do the exact same. Seems like Entity have won the team fight. They can just casually move right back into the Roshan pit. So Cox is still trying to make it difficult on the Batrider, but there's no way into the pit. Narman's already left the building as well. He's not interested in trying to steal the Aegis. Just too hard without vision. And so a massive win for the side of Entity.
BKBs are just making it so hard for Force to try to get that control he wants on some of these bigger heroes. Like the moment the Sark just pops BKB, gets a double pounce off, your backline just gets ripped apart. Like, he enjoys going into the Primal Beast at this point. He enjoys going into these tanky heroes, getting more stacks of Essence shift up. And he can dish it right back. Side of Geek Slate, Scam, forced to keep away from bot, knowing that there's going to be some action to force into that tier 2. Cox just sneaking around a bit. Not really able to get any ambush here, but would want to cut the creep wave at the least.
Radiant's decision to fortify their structures will prove wise.
In the meantime, Watson just casually pushing into tier 2 bottom tower along with the rest of Entity. Geek Slate, they'll hang around that dire jungle. Entity's still going after the bottom tier 2 in the meantime. They could run into Kataomi, though it's not the biggest kill, and he's got the vision anyway.
Trickster's rule of illusion.
Bottom tier 2 tower does go down. Watson's still sticking around that bot lane, knowing he's probably safe. And rotations are incoming. They want to fight that top lane. They see Skem on that Lina. On the creep wave, he's kind of been left behind. His team is slowly making their way in. But Skem is forced to pop the BKB to be able to get out of this. Rogi, he cannot do the same though. He'll get pounced by Watson. No BKB of his own. He will drop. Skem, or rather Stormstormer, chasing down Force in the meantime, does land the chains out onto the Primal Beast, but he doesn't have the backup. So I say that Watson, he is approaching very quickly on that Slark. Force still trying to run, but the pounce is right on target by Watson. So there is help around, but Cox now, he'll be targeted by Watson. Watson just does not care. He'll move into anywhere, anytime. This pounce away again, this time will not land.
Just got interested.
So Cox will get out, so will Force. As you can see, John, they are having a lot of trouble trying to deal with this Slark.
They can't commit onto him. They know with the 2 lives up, they only have one real good hard lockdown spell opportunity to use there. They will smoke up now. They've got the global sign, so they've got to wait to still counteract Toby if the threat of Black Hole comes in. They just need to find a pickoff. Like, if you can find a pickoff while the Aegis was running, you're pretty happy. That's going to stall out the progression onto a push, stall out the progression onto your other tier 2s, saves your high ground some time, gives Skem some time as well to finish up this full Silver Edge. Not going to be able to fully commit that. They don't really have the forward vision here from the side of Geek Slate to hunt down Entity at the moment. Entity, they've got a 5k lead up now. This Slark is just so damn big. And this is him without the shard. Once you've got the Depth Shroud on top of all of this, like just all of that immunity makes it so difficult for the side of Geek Slate to really do anything about it.
Here we go. 4-man smoke up. Entity. You can find Narman closest target right now to Watson. He can make the pounce in, and he does land it once again. Oh, a nice kick away with the boulder smash, but it's not going to do enough. Scam hanging around on the Pos 1 Lina, but understands he could not help out his support. We'll just have to watch him go down. But maybe they can try for a counterfight. Pops will move in, but a nice slide of from Stormstormer at the right time. So BKB was there, so the Firefly and Lasso do basically no damage to Stormstormer. They are fine to back off once again. Just look at Watson. Now this Slark, he just keeps moving in on his own. He's gonna pounce in again, you can almost feel it.
Yeah,
He's finding another target for himself. He's
just too durable.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He's just way too big. Like this Slark, just so hard to burst down. You don't really have the damage to deal with him. You fed him 10 permanent agi. Going for the Scotty next. He's almost there too. You need to be able to jump the Slark first, but your single target control is just handled so nicely by the Dark Pack. You can't commit with Lasso, you can't commit with Pulverize. There's always going to be an answer. It needs to be Narman in first with a Silent Stun. And it's just so hard to catch a Slark anyway. Even if you manage to get Narman in an angle, it just has all the pounces in the world. You do have the full Axe up and running on Force, so he's got a little bit of the break flying around on the up roar. Good uptime on that as well. You can dish a lot more damage in the middle of these team fights if he does live true. But speaking of slippery, Stormstormer has his full Axe up. He's just going to be jumping around as well in the middle of these fights. Geekslate, they're lacking control, and it's really starting to make this game a lot more difficult than it should be for them.
Still grouped up as a team here. Geekslate is 5. Entity doing the exact same though, not willing to give any openings over. Scam has done still significantly well, considering his net worth from the Lina. Still top of the net worth board. Just can't deal with the Slark once he makes the pounce in though. Skadi very close for Watson, and now another double damage going to be found by Stormstormer to boot. Yeah, I'm just going to be hitting like an absolute truck in this next fight. Now both sides, they'll take it easy for a little bit. Maybe wait for the next Roshan, though it is a bit of time away. Entity, I mean, they're probably the team that try to make a play, if anything. And speaking of said play, they are grouping up now. Guardi is up on Watson. Going for that surprise item reveal.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Unfortunately, they've got the Blink and Toby, so you can't set up with the Black Hole. If you just catch the Silencer in that, you don't have anything to worry
Dire's
about.
bottom tower is simply no
Well, here we
more.
go. Saw Skim in the bot lane, but he's going to back off at that right moment. Force will break the smoke of Stormstormer, but he just pops the BKB and rushes right in. Onto Cox. BKB is popped, but they've got the Barrel Rider in trouble. He's still trying to run. Meanwhile, on the backside, Kataomi. He found 2 targets, forcing more BKBs out. Skim is forced to just TP away from his team, as this is not the fight he wants. Narman's going to be alright. He will TP as well. It's only going to be 1 down for the side of Geekslate. In fact, 1 down that whole team fight. Just so many BKBs being forced out to be able to get out of there.
It's costly. Geekslate down on their charges now on Scam, down to 6 seconds. Much more opportunities for Watson to jump on top. Once he has a full basher up, you're not going to be able to bail out with the TPs as well. And you still lack that big control piece for the Slark. As long as he's able to dance around, jump all over the place with a BKB up and running, you just don't have a solution from Geekslate. And it just goes back to maybe not playing around your timing. There was a moment when the entire team of Geekslate just felt a lot stronger, but Force was just not joining these fights. He gets the BKB up and running, then suddenly it doesn't matter. Like, he just can't hold the key heroes. He can't hold the Slark. He could maybe hold the Stormer, but with a BKB, he has to wait for that to fade unless Narman can set up. It's just demanding a lot from both Narman and Cox in this game. It's a lot more forgiving for Entity. I don't think we've ever seen Toby even really commit a Black Hole outside of that one-time bot, which didn't line up. But he hasn't had to in these successful fights. And once he has that BKB, you don't have the solution for Raji anymore. If you force Global Silence first, just BKBs jumps in and Toby's there to clean up. It's has to execute on a very fine line here.
Absolutely. A lot of tension in this game one. Like, it's a 6k advantage, but it still feels close enough for a comeback here for Geek Slate. Not too big of a deal. Just one team fight will do it. Roshan is up now, so both teams need to make their way over to that Roshan pit. That they will. Hang around that area. Just a question of which team starts at first, but it probably has to be Entity. I think Geek Slate will be more than happy to just be patient on in their own triangle. Well, Skem just picking up a Satanic now on that laner as well. It's a big itemization for this next team fight. But that is the Satanic into the Skadi of Watson, so maybe not quite as effective. And it's not like his BKB is that long of a duration anymore, it's 6 seconds.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher. Skadi can be in a way a solution to Satanic, but the active does still overwhelm the Skadi healing reduction, so Scam can still stay alive decently as long as he doesn't get chain stunned. And he can get that Satanic off. Roche is up. Roche number 2 with a shard. Just doesn't feel like a simple fight for Geek Slate to take. The threat of Black Hole looms over them if they go into the Roche. They haven't been able to find a pick-off recently. They're playing a farm game, and only the Lina is really winning that for Geek Slate. Everyone else is starting to lag behind. Cox and Force just not able to keep up with Stormer and Toby at this point. So you've got a pretty decent edge for Entity to play off of. And for Geek Slate, this patience can pay off. The Lina still has room to grow, but it just feels easier and easier for a Slark to go into that late game, because you're talking about 2 invulnerability spells in Shadow Dance and in Depth Shroud. You have nothing to match that on the side of Geek Slate. That's the one thing with Slark. It's almost like Juggernaut in that ultra late game scenario where Omni Slash isn't busted because of the damage. It's busted because it's like a 5-second invulnerability window where your core is just doing damage. Slark has that as well.
Lines being drawn out all over the place here. Slate. Smoke on smoke situation. This could be massive for either side, but Roshan has gotten started now for Entity. Entity still just going for it as Geek Slate are wrapping around through the dire jungle. There is vision on that high ground though, so it could be very effective for Entity as they do jump in now. Lasso is out, they've caught the Enigma. They'll try to burst him down, but he does have the Lotus Orb to protect, but no, it's not enough. Skem will take him down, but the immediate buyback is there. Rogi has also died, so it should be a free Black Hole if he can get within range. Znarman and Fishman both go down as well. They've caught Force with the pounce out now, so Watson will keep trying, but there's your BKB out from Force and the onslaught away. But they go right back towards that Roshan. Geek Slate, can they get there to fight it? It doesn't seem like it.
They use too many of your resources. They know the threat of Black Hole's there. They've got to surrender at Roche with free shard. And that should be Watson picking up everything. So Depth Shroud's going to be in play. Secondary Life's in play. Geek Slate, they're showing us some great ways of taking these fights, but again, the cores that they want to kill are just not in a position where they can take them down.
Cox getting caught a second time with the pounce out from Watson. And he's just gone. Storm will take the kill, but that was basically just all Watson.
Ah, my back hurts.
Yeah. Again, it's Slark at ultra late game. Well, not even ultra late game, just Slark towards this late game period. With all the pounces, with all this invulnerability, with its level 20 talent pack, once he hits that level 25 talent, your window to be aggressive just shrinks as well, because of how long that Essence Shift will last. Entity, they can slowly just take control of the map. The side of Geek Slate, they're trying to shove on the sides. Scam just looking to ensure at least bot will force a response out at some point. But they're going to lose their top in the process because an overwhelming army from Toby. And for Geek Slate, it just doesn't feel like they've been confident in a while. Like, they've just not been able to jump, they've not been able to get control. They've got this Lina that can do a lot of damage, but Slark just gets on top of you and you're in a world of hurt. And there's no simple solutions coming out. Maybe this BKB on Armin is actually the big one, as he does have it finished up. So you can roll in fully commit for the team and try to force the angles out, try to force some BKB usages early, have the team reset, and jump back in afterwards. That could be the play for Geek Slate.
Could be. Little 9k advantage now for Entity. Skip's still top of the net worth board, but yeah, it just doesn't translate if he's not able to just stand there and hit people the whole time. Now TP's coming back towards the side of Geek Slate. Entity will move back into their dire jungle. Kobe's leaving the arcane rune here for Watson, I think. Watson will take it, so this is a very scary Slark with very low cooldowns now, and they're going to see Skem. That's the primary target. Immediate remedy, pounces out, force the BKB from Skem, but he still can't just run away from Watson. Watson will just keep chasing him down. The leader caught out, force staff away, but another pounce on the leader. Skem is down. No buyback available, as next will be Cox. There goes your Batrider. Narman, he may not be safe either. He'll try to BKB up, but the roll is going to be blocked, and they will just keep chasing them down. Watson's an absolute monster on this Slark. There's just no stopping him.
He just has such a good game lineup for him. They just never pressured that Slark while he was weak. They allowed him to farm up. They played his farming game in Force and Skem. And now the high ground's just going to get torn apart. Still has Aegis for 2 minutes. There's no reason to back off. Black Hole is still ready and Toby as well.
That it is. Entity. Watson even getting the courier response. Before he comes back into the mid-ranks, he just does the old double pounce maneuver. That'll be the mid-ranks gone. Watson looks like he's about to build up an Abyssal Blade. Make life even harder for the side of Geek Slate. That's Naomi. He'll make a casual jump in, but can't find the Avalanche Toss. Can just Oversil toad him out of there, though. No real problem for him. There might be 2 Raxes to go the way of Entity. Well, they might be able to stick around for the third as well. There's no T2 tower standing to protect that third Rax. So if Entity are feeling a bit spicy, they can just move in for a third, get the Megas up, and try to get a GG call going.
Yeah, they play it safe. Arlena respawns there. The full force of Geek Slate's online. They know they've got some of their items off cooldown. BKBs should be ready to go again. So they respect that. They know the big opportunity for Geek Slate is an overextension on the high ground. Just don't give them that chance, although... Watson.
Indeed, he has got the Aegis up. He's still got his BKB available, but they'll just force start from away. Watson actually just hanging around the high ground, just casually waiting for someone to show up. Realizes there is a ward on that high ground though, so can't go for that surprise maneuver. Entity, they are going to play a bit more conservatively. Like, I suppose they realize the comeback is still available for Geek Slate if they do lose a big team fight. So without seeing the opening that they want, they'll just back off for now. Geek Slate are backs against the wall anyway. They haven't got many places to farm at the moment, so the net worth lead should only escalate for Entity. And there's really not much they can do about it. They're kind of just stuck waiting high ground for a good team fight that they could choose to smoke out, but every smoke they've gone for recently just hasn't even been close.
No, they have so many ways of just breaking it nicely on Entity, and every single time Geek Slate pokes out, the best core they've been finding has been Toby. That's the best hero they've been finding so far. They've just had nothing to answer onto the Ember for Stormstormer to Watson Slark. They are trying to build up hexes now. Force is trying to go for the site. So again, piece of control on hand. If he can get it up and running, just get the right target to jump on. Easier said than done. An Entity can just play this game. Very patient. 21k lead. Win probability right now is 99% the side of Entity. The comeback potential for Geek Slate is so small. But again, you have all these relocation spells. You've got the lasso. You could try to just hope for a fountain play, which is why Entity's just so respectful. But they've seen that happen at least once before. They don't want to have to go into it. And just play it safe. No rush. Shiva's almost done in Stormstormer. Torn for Watson. And we're just set to go. You have all the defensive spells. You've got your toolkit ready. You know that Geek Slate can't keep up with you in farm. So why force the issue? Just play your game.
Yeah. They're just sitting high ground right now, just waiting. Entity ripped up in the mid lane. They have got a smoke ready on Fishman if they do want to pop it. And they will. Stormstormer has his own invis rune, just currently maybe setting up for a bait in the mid lane, hoping someone makes the jump in on the Ember. But there'll be a long wrap around here from Entity. Down towards the bottom lane they go. They aren't going to really be able to go for a pick off without entering the base, I don't think, but there is a counter smoke now from Geek Slate. Heading towards Stormstormer. Geek Slate, they'll run through the top lane. Question is, where are they headed? They haven't got the best vision right now. May get spotted in just a moment. Stormstormer, he'll break the smoke on Nama, but there's going to be a lasso out. They have caught a big target. It's going to be the Ember, but Stormstormer, he'll be fine for now. Instead, they'll try to make the jump in on Watson, but Watson, he can just heal up. With the Shadow Dance, they can't really kill him. Meanwhile, Cox, he's trying to run, but he's getting destroyed by Watson as they found Scam. They've got Selena. There is no escape. The Bat Rider runs the black hole. It does come out. It's so tough for Geek Slate. Rogi will drop. GG is called. They've seen enough. Geeks.
Yep, they just got off to a running start for Watson. His lane was a little bit back and forth, but he did find himself a couple of kills there. And for the side of Geek Slate, there was this moment in the mid game where everything was
5 seconds remaining.
When he does manage to build up, he builds up super damn quick, and he just takes over the game so fast. So you've got to keep an eye on Watson. Forrest, he was just farming this BKB up for such a long time. He's playing tag with Watson up top, basically farming the same place where the Slark was farming and just not doing enough to stop that. So I want to Geek Slate in terms of... And we'll see if they are allowed to do that. Draft-wise, I think they had a really good idea. They just failed to execute on it. We'll see what the call-out is, though. Again, there are a couple of key heroes to ban there. I think the support contestation rate is pretty damn high between these two teams. We saw Norman pull out his Earth Spurt. Not the biggest success, unfortunately, but it is something he specializes on. You tend to just see stuff like Nature's Prophet banned out up against Geek Slate. You don't really want to give Skim that hero. For the side of Entity, it'd be time to respect ban the Ember and just take that out, or just remove Toby's Enigma from the game, because it forced him to play Silencer and just have no impact with the Silencer, because he just kept holding Global Silence to use on the Black Hole, which means you basically have a hero that does nothing as Geek Slate, or we have a pause, I think, because the timer has... Yeah, we're reforming right now.
We're doing what, sorry? Oh, we are. We're remaking lobby. Oh, good. Okay.
Way back to the... I have my life before.
Let's get back to the action. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. We now return to our regularly scheduled carnage. The Dire team is now picking their bands. They do take their time, don't they? Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant's team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Time now for the Dire team to choose.
Choose thy
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Mars!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Patience while the Radiant's team chooses.
Venomancer.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Phantom Assassin.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Time now for the Dire team to choose. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Patience while the Radiance team chooses.
We hold the Horn of Madness.
Ten seconds. No, I'm sorry. 8 seconds. Actually, I meant... Well, never mind. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
The sack.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.